Google Hangout Live. So if anybody is hoping to watch instead of just listen, that can happen. Um, so, so it sounds like we've got a good group on the phone so far. Hearing a lot of beeping, so that's fantastic. Um, I am going to get started. There's another friend right there. Exciting times. We'll get started with this. It's 5:16, so I want to honor everybody's time. But I'm just thrilled to get you guys on the phone. I'm thrilled if anybody's watching out there in the interwebs of the live stream, just to get everybody together to really continue to cast vision as we move forward. Because I know sometimes we get tons of people out to group runs. There's tons of this energy at the beginning of the season, and then it kind of will taper off a little bit, or people get nervous or things get busy, and there's always something. But the thing is that we're crushing it right now, and momentum is building. And I really want to make sure that we are just hemming you guys in and letting you know what's coming, what's ahead, and that we're walking there with you, and we can fill in gaps if there are any. And I have a word from you guys from Isaiah. It's Isaiah 41:17 through 20, and the NIV says, it's 17 through 20, but this is just 17. Very straightforward. When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue is parched with thirst, I, the Lord, will answer them. And just for giggles, I opened up my Message version of the Bible to see how that translated out. And it says, the poor and homeless are desperate for water, their tongues parched, and no water to be found. But I'm there to be found. I'm there for them, and I, God of Israel, will not leave them thirsty. I'll open up rivers for them on barren hills, spout fountains in the valleys. I'll turn the baked clay badlands into a cool pond, the waterless waste into splashing creeks. And it just goes on to this transformation of life where there is none. And it closes with, everyone will see this. No one can miss it. Unavoidable, indisputable evidence that I, God, personally did this. It's created and signed by the Holy of Israel. And when I was reading this today and just sitting in it, clearly it blows my mind that our miles and our lives here on one side of the world are distinctively and eternally linked to people on the other side of the planet. And that literally we are the answer to prayers. And that just cannot fall on deaf ears tonight, guys, that we are the answer to prayers for women and children and men on the other side of the planet. That fathers have dignity again and purpose and hope because they're not sending out their kids not knowing if they're going to come back. That they actually have jobs and providing and are farming and herding animals again because there's water, which means there's crops. And it's insane how something like water that just seems, it's linked to everything, but we don't think about it and how it can restore people's dignity. Completely transformational. And we get so focused in on that with this ministry sometimes that we forget that these words of Isaiah are true in this physical reality, but also in a spiritual reality, that the people come into our group runs, and maybe you guys on the phone right now, like today, are feeling poor and needy, and you feel like you are seeking some sort of water, just like, throw me a bone here. You know what I mean? And there just isn't one. And we are parched and we're tired and we're thirsty and we need whatever we're looking for. And God is saying right here through the words of Isaiah, I will answer them. And I truly, I got to be at OC Marathon, guys, this weekend at the finish line tent. And I had met some of these runners here and there, at an impact night and just helping with our other staff. But I live 45 minutes from the OC. I'm not at group runs every week with these guys. And I got to celebrate their stories and wipe their tears at the finish line as they accomplished something that they never thought they could. Or they were literally, that finish line was the victory to a battle that was so much bigger than miles, but just self-defeat and negative self-talk and relational brokenness. And one thing after another, this finish line was reconciliation and restoration for people. And at your group runs, that's what you're helping people get to. You know, you get to walk alongside people in their everyday life. And we forget that that is the most important thing I think we can do with our lives, is walk alongside other people and live life together. Because God says, you know, Christ says that all things are going to be reconciled. And I'm going to do that reconciling work in you and through you. You are going to be the glue that holds my kingdom together, that brings it here to earth. And that's what you guys are doing. And it's just played out in so many ways. And you know, like as these miles build, you're out there a long time, and it's just you and your thoughts some days. And my prayer for you guys is that those thoughts can turn to the heavens, and that the Lord would speak to you where you are at. And you would be praying over your team and praying over your miles, but literally opening up your heart to say, Lord, what do you have for me today? Because I mean, these words right here is saying, I am here. I hear you and I am responding. I mean, the end of this is just incredible, right? Where is it? Right here. That God personally did this. Everyone will see. No one will miss it. It is unavoidable, indisputable evidence that the Holy One of Israel is here. I am here for them, and I, God of Israel, will not leave them thirsty. So guys, whatever you might be going through today, and whatever you might not be seeing, I just want to encourage you that God is with you. And it's just that finish line is going to be an unbelievable, beautiful communal celebration of a 26-week journey. You know, like 6 months, guys, that we've been talking about this and praying about this and envisioning it, and it's happening. So just to give you a little perspective of what that looks like, I always love to give you guys an update straight from the top where we're at. We have 466 online pages. Guys, we keep getting new runners every week. It's my mind is like, I just don't even know what to do with it. The catch-up plan just started last week. So literally, if people are runners or they are in shape or they are moving, they could catch up to that half marathon still. I would say in the coming weeks, you know, that's a little riskier, but we've got people that are still signing on to this team right now. And as far as registered runners, the people that I know that are registered, we have 386 of that 466 are registered. So my question to you guys is, as you're at these group runs or you're connecting with your runners, can you check back on your team Google Doc and see if it says that people are registered? Because I've been filling that in as I know that they're registered, but you guys can totally mark that puppy up. You know, like if somebody is registered and I don't have them registered, please say, yes, Lindsay, they are registered. And then I'll put them into that column because Rock and Roll wants to know. And I always keep them up to date with, you know, our fundraising and where we're at and how many runners we have. But also that helps with the perks, like with our finish line tent and more space and just more fun. The more runners we have, the more lenient and loving they are to really bless us with greatness. So let me know. And also, I mean, just on race day, we want to know how many orange jerseys we've got out on the road so we can cheer every single last person through that finish line. So please let me know if there are folks that I have on your doc not registered, if they are registered. And then just as far as goals, guys, you know, coming into the season, we had a $200,000 goal, which last year we raised $132,000. So having a $200,000 goal is kind of a big deal. You know, there's a gap there. And guys, right now we're over $154,000 in fundraising. I mean, that is absolutely just nutty craziness. So we're sitting with 386 registered runners, over $150,000 raised, $154,000. That's 3,000 people, guys. We're looking at 3 times the size of our team. Like, we're going to get there and more. That will have clean water for the rest of their lives and a restored wholeness of their health and their relationship to the land and each other. I mean, huge transformation that's taken place on the other side of the planet because of our footsteps, that the Lord is literally answering these people's prayers. But if you were at Impact Night, you heard me break this down. And I've got a slide that actually says, okay, here's where we're at, and here's our team goal. Our goal is now $300,000. But if anybody that wasn't at Impact Night, or if you were and you missed it, our fundraising goals, like, and our biggest fundraising days are yet to come. So when we're talking about changing the world and doing something incredible that's going to shift the course of history and stabilize countries, like literally we are helping stabilize countries and grow economies by putting in sustainable water structure. We're looking at a goal of 300,000. Well, that's 6,000 people with clean water. Our fundraising, if we keep at a normal pace, if we track with every other city over the last 10 years, we are going to double our fundraising 4 to 6 weeks out. So within like next week and the coming week, wherever we're at on a fundraising basis, we should, based upon the trajectory of Team World Vision of what we know, we should double that. So guys, right now, we are on the trajectory to raise over $300,000. Like our goal is obsolete, if that is possible. Like we haven't dreamed big enough, really. Like God is just blowing the doors off of what this ministry looks like and what the kingdom of God right here on earth is coming to be, you know? And I told you guys at team dinner at Impact Night that my glory be to God. Like I'm shaking in my boots goal when I'm praying and thinking, God, what can we really do? That goal is $500,000, $500,000 coming from Seattle runners and families and friends and community and coworkers. And guys, as we continue to tick up in fundraising, I'm telling you that you might think I'm crazy, but that $500,000, that's 10,000 people that will have water sustainably for a lifetime. That means that after we are dead, after we are long gone, there will be kids who will not know the stories of their grandparents. They will not relate to them because they have never walked or struggled for a drop of water in their life. And they will be in school and they will be looking to the future and a stronger economy and building a family, not worried if they're going to survive, but looking at how they can thrive and what they want to do. I mean, the fullness of life, not just trying to live life and survive. I mean, 10,000 people. But when I actually crunch the numbers as to what our goals are, right? Our runner goals, what you guys set as runners, what your team set when you went in and said, here's my goal, what is it? If the 386 people, man, if they hit their goals as what they set them at, we would raise over $600,000. That means 12,080 people would get clean water sustainably. So guys, I just want to start with that to say that Isaiah 41 is totally true. We are seeing the live proclamation of the Old Testament right here in our lifetime, and we are a part of it. Like God is answering people's prayers through our footsteps, and this is actually happening. And guys, if people are already hit on your team, I know that it might be scary to say, you got to raise your goal because, you know, in America we think, oh, well, we hit our goal. Congratulations. But in reality, our goals don't mean that there's no more need, right, in the world. Our goals mean that we hit a goal, but our goal is to end the water crisis, right? To help kids stay alive. And when there are 1,000 kids dying a day because they don't have water, and we can change that, that means that we can raise our goal. And if people want to be generous, they can. But because when our donors come to our pages, I can tell you this personally. I've had people come to my fundraising page when I had hit my goal and they did not donate because they didn't think I needed them to, because I had hit, quote unquote, my goal. And when I realized that, I raised my goal because there were still kids that needed money. And I called them up and said, hey, look, I've been thinking about this and praying about this, and there are kids that need water. So, you know, I've raised my goal to this much. And if you are still willing to donate as you intended to 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, please do so. And they did. So guys, I mean, you know that our all-star level is 1310, which is 26 lives. And I hope you're tracking with me. You know, you can chime in if not, but then our next goal is like $2,000, which is 40 lives. And then we've got a hero level goal that's 3,000 lives. Look that stuff up online and have people really encourage them to pray about a goal so they can create a gap that people can be generous. Because if there is no gap or there is no need that's actual visual, there's in the story, then people just aren't gonna donate the way that they can. And with that little nugget of love, little tip, I wanna make sure that everybody knows that there are brand new incentives hot off the press that were just mailed out to our first 1310 winners per se, not winners, but like the people that actually hit that 1310 goal. You get a sweet t-shirt. It is a brand new Team World Vision t-shirt. I need to hit my 1310 goal so that I can get the new t-shirt, and I hope to hit the $2,000 goal because there's a sweet new hoodie that I would really love to be sporting. But there are going to be tons of them come race weekend, and as soon as you guys hit those goals, make sure your folks know you know, that happens in our computer system, and then we're working on our side to package up those t-shirts and those sweatshirts and whatnot and get them out to you. So that's a really fun and exciting things that are happening right now. And as we move forward, right, we're following that training plan to make sure that we get to the start line and we get to the finish line and we stay healthy. But every week, one thing I'm going to try to do is a legacy live stream. And what's cool about the live streams is it records the video of the interview or whatever that's happening, right, on Google. And I am going to be interviewing legacy runners from all over the country. So these are folks that have chosen to raise or set a goal of $10,000 or more. I mean, some of these people have blown the lid off of $10,000. And every week from here on out, every week, I am going to post a legacy live stream on our Team World Vision Facebook group. And I'll email it out to you captains, and you guys can email it out to your team. But what it's going to be is like a 5-minute video, guys. Like, I'm trying to keep it short and sweet, and I'm going to introduce you to our legacy spotlight runner, and I'm straight up going to ask them, what type of fundraiser are you? Like, off of our document online. If they're a Nervous Nelly, if they're a deal closer, you know, if whatever they are, they're going to tell you what kind of fundraiser they think they are, and then I'm going to ask them, what's your special sauce? What helped you hit that goal? And they're going to give some real deal personal testimony tips on how they hit their goal. And again, I want them to be short and sweet, but I want them to be highly and easily accessible to our whole team so we don't feel alone. Because we are not alone out there on the course, right? Like, on that path, every Saturday we can be together. During the week, we can meet up with friends. And we even know we're running in spirit together, you know? But we want that same thing to be with the missional aspect of the fundraising. You are not out there cold calling people all by yourself. This is a whole team of people that are together trying to end this water crisis, and we're doing it, guys. So know that I'm going to be doing those live streams, and I'm going to get you guys the links so you can watch them live, quote unquote, or you can just click on the link and watch it whenever's convenient for you, and whenever's convenient for your team. And again, I'm going to try to keep them super short because I know that life is busy. You know what I mean? So, and then also, hopefully you saw in your email today, your weekly team update. And that is something that does take me a lot of time, guys. But I know that numbers equal kids. Like, when you're looking at numbers, I'm an English person. I studied English and history in my undergrad, and then development and missions, you know, in my graduate school degrees. I am not a numbers person. I am not a spreadsheet person. But as I've been learning about spreadsheets, to be honest, and numbers, I mean, that is a living, breathing document of people's lives being saved. So when we put down a dollar amount, we're not talking about money. We're talking about people. When we're talking about goals and how far away we are, these are like real kids, you know, real families that are alive because we're hitting these numbers. And I know there are super awesome numbers people out there on our teams. So either way, I'm going to do my best to like really dig in every week to send you your personal team's weekly update. So it'll show you how many runners you have, what your team goal is, where you're at right now, how many lives, like how many gifts of clean water and lives you've you've changed. And then, you know, like if we've got any goose eggs, and goose eggs, guys, if I didn't explain this very well, those are people that haven't gotten their first donation. It's just like a little egg sitting there, right? But after you crack that egg, it's all over from there. Like there's no turning back, right? So we really encourage people, you break your own goose egg, be your first donor, and then have people match your donation, right? But also, if you know people in your community that are ready to donate, will you as a team captain let them know that there's somebody on your team that needs encouragement, that needs a little help? Let that donation be a blessing to somebody on your team that needs it to help crack that goose egg and get things rolling, because it's a huge deal. When people realize that other people want to do good and they want to care and they want to donate, it's like the floodgates can open, guys. So the goals this week for us as a team is to try to crack those goose eggs, if that makes sense, and then open up our generosity gap. So if anybody on your team has a goose egg, encourage them with that and maybe help them find that closest, safest person to ask and invite in to break that goose egg. And then on top of that, if you see people on the other end of the spectrum that are blowing out their goals, and yeah, I mean that there's like literally people will go on to their page and their goal will be hit and it looks like nobody needs any clean water. Will you talk to them and encourage them that there are people that, I mean, when you put out 100 asks, people wait till race week to respond. I am telling you, we are a lazy group of people. Humans are, right? And we just procrastinate about things. But like come race week, if we have goals that are hit, there will be people that come to our pages that will not donate because the goal is hit. So if you have anybody on your team that's matched, that is capped, pray about it and be bold and celebrate the heck out of them, right? And then say, how many more lives do you want to change? Or how many more asks do you think you have out there? Why don't you pray about raising your goal and creating a gap so that people can be generous? And guys, to be honest, the bigger the gap is, sometimes people will donate larger sums of money because they can. And because you're creating a new trajectory of how many lives they could change. If you say, hey, do you want to change one life? They can do that. If they've got the capacity to change 10, they might want to do that. They just didn't even know that was an option. You know what I mean? So those are your two goals for this week, are think goose eggs and generosity gap. Goose eggs and generosity gap. All right? And then now I just got some super sweet race day is coming updates. We have a 10-20 mile run, details coming on the calendar for you. So Saturday, May 28th, we're going to do a 7 a.m. all team, all city, 10-20 mile run. And we are hoping to have it at Gasworks in Seattle. So there's tons of parking, there are bathrooms, and we have a 10-mile loop that we're going to have a couple water stations on, and then a huge celebration in the park. And we'll be able to cheer the marathoners around as they go on their second loop. But guys, this is an opportunity to straight up have a practice race day. So for all of you guys that have to drive into the city and wake up early in the morning and literally be nervous, right? Like the worst part of race day to me, I mean, mile 10 can really be rough, guys. I'm not going to lie. Mile 20 free marathoners, I mean, there's going to be a reckoning, you know, when you hit those points. But I'll tell you, the biggest battle is getting to race day, is getting to the start line. So the fact that we can actually practice laying out our race clothes the next 10-20 mile run, actually getting breakfast in our systems and getting up on time and getting into our cars and getting to Seattle and getting out of them, and getting going for this 10-mile run or the 20-mile run is crucial. And we're going to do it, I mean, all together, guys. We have a request for a park permit with the city of Seattle right now. We're waiting on them getting back. We filed all the paperwork. It is going to be incredible to get everybody together on that Saturday to do this group run together. So I'll tell you, as soon as I get that permit, you will get 100% of the details. But right now, you can tell people May 28th, we are going to have a group run in Seattle at 7 a.m. And I mean, we're going to start the run at 7 because that's when the race starts, 7, right? So everybody's got to get there. I would say about 6:30, 6:40, right? And then we're going to get that party started at 7. And that means also we hopefully stay out of the sun and the hot weather too. You know what I mean? And then we got some time to party it up and cheer each other on and get to know each other before race day. So that's the 10, 20-mile run. And then finally, race weekend details. I know a lot of questions are starting to come your way already because people are getting nervous and they're realizing that this is the real deal. And it is. So Expo is at CenturyLink, and there's parking there. I'm not gonna lie, guys, like the parking there might be like 10 or 12 bucks on Thursday, and on Friday it might jump up to 20. And all that information is on the Rock and Roll website. All of it's right there. And I'm going to get you guys a huge, not huge, it's actually like huge as an awesome race weekend packet with all the details about the expo, about team dinner, about cheer stations for your families, about the finish line, the whole thing. Like literally, I walk you step by step through race weekend so you're prepared and you've got answers for your team, but everybody gets these packets so we're all on the same page. But Expo, right, is on Thursday, if you're taking notes, from 11 to 4:30. And that's because there's a huge Copa America tournament, soccer tournament, right, that's actually happening at CenturyLink. There's a game that night. So the Expo is only until 4:30. What we're able to do is move our team dinner from Thursday to Friday. So guys, I know if you were at Impact Night, I announced the team dinner was on Thursday night, and it is not. We were able to move it to Friday to make it super easy that people can come to the Expo on Friday and walk to team dinner, or literally move your car 0.3 miles. Like it is so close. So the Expo on Friday is from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., but our dinner starts at 6. Doors will open at 5:45. You can actually come into the building, and we're going to have a sweet meet and greet all set up for you. We're going to have jerseys for sale. We're going to have race weekend awesome Team World Vision t-shirts for sale. They are literally the most comfy things you've ever worn, and they are beautiful. They are so awesome. I'm kind of a t-shirt snob, so you can take that for what it's worth. But either way, Friday, you can get to the Expo at any point that you want to, but I would really encourage you, get over to team dinner for like kind of the mixer meet and greet. We're going to have a photo booth there too. So you can take some crazy team pictures, some fun photo booth stuff. I mean, energy is going to be through the roof high. And we've got some big time surprises for team dinner coming up too that I'm securing right now. So you can get there. Doors, like I said, you can actually get into the building and into the space in basically any time. So I would say, get there about 5:15, 5:30 or whatnot. And then we'll actually let you into the dinner room, which is just beautiful, at 5:45, and boom, team dinner starts at 6. And why are we doing it like that? Is because we want you out the door and going to bed and with your feet up in the air as soon as possible. So we're going to be done by 7:30, guys, and you guys are going to be able to, again, you can do more pictures, you can buy more gear, you can do whatever you want, or you can just get the heck out of Dodge so you can get to bed in the morning. But team dinner will ignite your soul. Like literally, it's going to calm your nerves. We're going to do race day tips. We have specific tips for family members for cheer stations. We have two locations that will be announced. And being at cheer stations is incredible. They'll be able to see you at the cheer station, cheer you on, and meet you at the finish line tent after you're done. So those are kind of your race weekend tips going into that. The only one last thing I want to tell you is we have 280 seats for team dinner. Like packed to the seams, 280 seats. And right now we've got early bird tickets available for only $13 during the month of May only. June 1st, the price jumps to $16. So if you guys want tickets, get those out to your teams for those early bird pricings and get your seats. That 280, clearly we're going to sell out because we've got tons of runners and we got tons of family and friends and runners are all invited to this dinner. So, and donors, guys, if you've got a big time donor that their hearts break for this ministry, bring them to dinner, buy them a ticket and thank them and bring them so that they get the bigger, larger picture on the huge difference that we're making. So it is, boom, 5:45 right now, which nailed that 30-minute call. I would love to answer questions for you about race weekend, about this, this idea of the generosity gap or breaking goose eggs. But guys, we're in the middle of something huge here. God does things that are bigger than we could ever ask or imagine, and we're living it out right now. And I'm not lying to you when I say we're going to hit some bumps in the road still, right? Mileage is going to go up. People are going to be nervous, about lots of things, and we just get to walk through this journey with them, and that's what makes the finish line so sweet. It's going to be incredible. So I'm going to pray real quick, and then anybody that has any kind of questions, feel free, stay on the line, and we can answer those for you. Okay. Lord God, I just thank you for your word. I thank you that it shows so clearly that you are the creator of all we can see, of all we can imagine, and that you are present when we can't feel you. You are present when we can't see you. We are present. You are present when we need you the most, and when we even don't think we need you at all. You are just so faithful. So God, I pray for that faithfulness to be felt and known with the women and children and families in Africa. And I pray that every one of our runners feels it too. And I pray that their families feel it too, that this ministry is really about living water for all of us, that you've got great plans for us, and you don't just pack it up and say it's over and sign the check. You keep leaning into us, and you keep using us and pushing us into who you created us to be. And I just thank you for that. So thank you for these captains. Keep them encouraged and uplifted. We love you, Lord. In Christ's name, amen. All right. So if you guys have any questions, I am all ears for you. Hey, how you doing, girl?